On today's installation, we'll be showing you how to install a RaceChip on a Chevy Cruze diesel with the 2.0. Before installing the RaceChip, please wait until your engine is cool enough to work on. Put your parking brake or emergency brake on. If your vehicle is equipped with an alarm system, please disable it. Pop the hood, roll up the windows, close the doors, and press the lock button on your key fob and move that key fob 30 feet away. You're going to wait about 10 minutes after for all the electricity to clear from underneath the hood. To begin the installation, we're first going to remove the plastic engine cover. Simply just pull up and away from the motor. There's only a couple of rubber grommets on the corners hanging on. For the installation, we're going to be connecting our A connection right here to the common rail or fuel rail sensor. To remove the sensor, we're first going to pull back on the little red locking tab. I'm going to use a small flathead screwdriver in this case to pull it back. Once we do so, there'll be a small locking tab on there. We're just going to push down and pull back to remove the sensor. Then, using the RaceChip supplied wiring harness, we're going to take the female end of the RaceChip harness and plug it on. You'll notice that there's going to be a 45-degree cut as well as a peg on one side. The side with the cut will actually go onto the locking tab onto the OEM sensor. So we'll take that and go ahead and plug that in. Make sure it locks and then press the red locking tab until it snaps into place. Next up is to install the male end of the RaceChip wiring harness. It's going to go right into the sensor plug that you just removed. And make sure you push it in all the way until it snaps. Next up is to install the 4 mounting tabs into the RaceChip itself. The really nice thing about these tabs is it allows you to mount either horizontally or vertically. And if you ever need to remove the RaceChip for any service or warranty work, you can press on the 4 corners of each tab and actually leave the zip ties and tabs into place and just remove the RaceChip itself. The next step on the installation is to remove the deactivation plug. It's really important you hang on to the deactivation plug. This is the unit you'll use if you ever need to remove the RaceChip or revert the car back to stock. You can leave the wire harness plugged in and put the deactivation in place of the RaceChip. Suggest leaving this in your glove box or your center console. So to remove the deactivation plug, simply pull away on the FCI plug, then take the RaceChip and stick it right in there into the same slot. Now it's really important that if you have the GTS that you get no LED lights on the screen, or the RS and S, there's no green LED light on the first installation of the RaceChip. We don't want any power to the unit the first time we plug in the RaceChip. So for this application, we're going to use the zip ties mounted vertically and zip tie right next to the ECU because it's away from any hot or moving parts as well as any moisture. Now for zip tying around any of the electrical lines, it's really important that you don't pull the zip tie too tight. We don't want to pinch any electrical lines inside the actual wires themselves. Next up is to route and zip tie the RaceChip wiring harness. Just like the RaceChip, we want to keep the harness away from any hot or moving parts as well as moisture areas. And if you are going to zip tie onto the electrical lines or even a fluid line, make sure you don't do the zip tie too tight. Last but not least is to cut the excess ends off the zip ties to give it a nice OEM look. And the last thing to do is simply reinstall the plastic engine cover. Start in the default setting of the RaceChip for the first time you test drive the car. If everything works great, you can then move the RaceChip to the next level up. Be aware that the car needs some time to adapt before releasing the full performance upgrade. Now, get out, drive, and enjoy your RaceChip.